What is going on, guys? Welcome on into today's trade recap, trade review, Monday, August 14th, 2023. So, first things first, let us look at SPY. We'll cover the P&L and the two stocks that we traded here in just a second. So, SPY had one of the lowest volume days that we have seen all year, and it's just a random Monday in August. If that doesn't kind of sum up August or summer trading for you, I don't know what else will. Should we expect a lot here? Not really. You got to have ideally really nice setups and A+ setups. Everyone says A+ setups, good looking setups, for you to take stuff and base off of what we got on SPY. So we'll see if that changes tomorrow and the rest of the week. We did make it out green today. I'll pull up the charts here in a second and show you. So here's the P&L, plus 129. I will classify this as a plus 1.25 R. Which essentially 1 R is $100 to me as of right now. And we want to keep our R's, our losing R's, our negative R's to a minimum, and our winning R's as large as possible. But today I'm pretty happy. We had one loss, I'll show you that in a second, and two wins. So at 66% win rate, we'll see if we can nudge that overall win rate back up. You can see behind me that the overall for the month, we have a pretty bad win rate, right? But the average win-loss is pretty good. This means that we could get green by the end of the month, even with a sub 50% win rate, which I think would be awesome. Ideally, we'd like to get 50 plus, but we might not this month. It may not happen. And we are still down about 550 on the month as we speak. And we started sizing up a couple days into the month, and we really kind of established our new position sizing pretty nicely where we're at right now, risking $100, looking to make 100 plus per trade. Not every trade will work that way, as you'll see, and I'll show you why in a second. So first trade of the day was on Google. So coming into the day, I was looking around and I was like, you know what? I think that, I'll go to the 1 hour charts. I like the downside because we are trending down. So I'd be more biased to the downside if I had to pick a side, right? And I want to look for weak stocks. And so at the open, which was back in here, I was like, okay, we're right near, lows of Friday. So we could be pushing lows. And I thought I was going to trade QQQ to the downside. And I didn't because it didn't break. So I had this line from Friday's low. We came down to that exact spot right at the open, bounced. And I said, if we put pressure back on this, 10, 15 minutes after the open, I'm going to short. But we never got the short. Never happened. Just bounced and went up pretty much the rest of the day. So I go, okay, what are my looks for the upside? What are the two stocks or three or whatever? Where are the upside? I then jump over to Amazon and Google. Okay, here's Amazon's chart. And then here is Google. It's not my watch list for no reason right now. Here's Google's chart. I don't really trade Google a lot. I don't. But had the best setup at the time, so I liked it. Here's Google. Now you broaden it out, a little more choppy. I would have liked Amazon, really would have, but Google had the gap up off of earnings a couple weeks ago, and it's been strong relative to the market. So I'm like, let's go. Google to the upside here, we can play. And I played Google with I'll draw my levels in again. So Google comes up. It has pre-market highs, not very clean here on TradingView, but pre-market highs are around 131. That also lines up with two upper wicks on these candles that we see on Google. And then it came back to VWAP, bounced. And then I played the breakout when it got right here. And then it ended up taking profit into this move. So we can pull up the exact fills and stuff. So 9:11 a.m., I enter 9:11:25 to the second. I enter 3 contracts, 217 price. So you say, well, you said you were going to trade with $1,000. This is 650. What are you doing? Well, that's why you didn't make $100 in this trade. You only made 80 something, right? Well, I said to myself, I would like to play next week's contracts based on volatility. A little too volatile for me to play the same week. Problem is, Google's contracts for next week had a little bit larger spreads and very low volume. So I wanted to play the higher volume on Google, which I have a history of playing some spready contracts and having some mistakes and whatnot. Not not mistakes, but having just some errors based off of that, not having a great experience. I need to play liquid contracts with volume, and I got to play something that isn't super, super volatile. That will allow me to stay in this trade in case Google were to retest the VWAP. I was actually going to stop out under this low, or the candle before the breakout candle low at around 130.60, 130.57 was my stop point. So that was what I was looking for. And we got in, kind of chopped around, consolidated, and then eventually take profits are hitting. Sold 2 contracts at 255. The last contract was essentially a break even at 222. So what happened was I had 2 contracts, I believe, sold up into this move. And then I then set essentially my stop loss right here on the option contracts, and a take profit. I estimated if we got to like 132 is my target. If we got there, my take profit would hit. We got close, didn't quite hit it, which was at like 175 target on the options. And then it came back and eventually stopped me out like a while later. It took a while to stop me out. It took a couple hours, or did it? Let's see. The stop out was at 11:23, so about 2 hours after the original entry, which would have been, right here, these lows. I technically could have stayed in if I left my stop loss at the exact break even. I moved it to 225 just because at that point in time, we had been building higher lows. I saw this and I was like, okay, if we break below that, I don't want to be in this thing anymore. And that would invalidate the trend to the upside. And that's exactly what happened, because it did technically, stop me out a little earlier here, not just north of my break or just north of my entry, made a lower high, and then would have stopped me out later on. Technically could have still been in, but do I want to be in this thing all friggin' day? No. The trade, to be honest, wasn't even that good because it worked, right? You had to have the patience to hold through it, but the story of today was not momentum. Like this, it broke and then it messed around for 20 minutes and then it went. Ideally, it should break and kind of go within 10, 15 minutes max. It should go, not fuck around for 20, then go, and then pull, and then go. No, that's just, that's not really playing the breakout, if you know what I mean. I'm still going to respect my stops, but tells me that the market's not super, super hot right now, which is good to know for tomorrow and et cetera, so that we, until we see something that changes our minds, not push the pedal, right? No need, The next trades were on AMD. So pull this bad boy up. Let's back this baby up, back this bus on up. And we had AMD, which we lost, and then we won. AMD at 12.10 and then at 13.39, so 139, I think that's what that is. I don't know. It's got to be because I'm Central Time. So, okay. This was a weird one. See, I was up, down, a lot of choppiness on this one. Now, going back to Google, right? The position size of 600 whatever bucks allowed me to play that risk. And had my next take profit hit, which got close, it would have been about $135 winner on the day. In that case, it ended up being like an $80 winner. So we had a partial take profit hit, and then we had stop loss at like break even or break of pattern, break of trend on the last piece, last contract. In this case, I was kind of being a pussy, I will say, but in a good way. I didn't want to size. I wanted to go half size because, again, on AMD, I'm playing this week expirations. I go out to next week. Contracts are very expensive because of NVIDIA earnings. So I decided to say play half size this week expiration, and the contracts are volatile. In this case, I ended up taking a loss. I got in at 12.10 and I got out 2 hours later. That's a long time. Jeez. I didn't even realize it was that long. No, it wasn't 2 hours later. Not 2 hours later. Sorry. And that will go back to this chart. 12.10, I got an hour later. So, okay, not as bad. But the 12.10 breakout was right here. Then what did it do? Consolidated for a while. I ended up getting taken out on one of these wicks. Actually, I got taken out on the third wick, which was this one right here, by the way. 1050 was my stop point, and it kind of nipped just to it, and then it bounced. And then it went, and then I re-entered here. So I caught it. It's just that the timing was a little bit off. Now, why? I go to the 30-minute chart. Dude, look at this chart. I'm sorry. You can't tell me this is not a good idea. This is solid. This is like textbook. There are concerns, though. So the first level of break was this high. It was really just a flag. Push up, consolidate, break the highs, go. Didn't have momentum. Then it consolidated again an hour or two later. Then it went, and then it had the freaking push that we're looking for. So everything lined up good. You look at the volume, right? Look at these breaks. Like, look at this big volume push right here into new high of the day. Big move up. This volume on this breakout, right, was the breakout on high volume. So you got the volume was coming in on the breakouts when we were going north. It was showing you we're going up, we're going up, we're going up. It's just that the breakout didn't really happen. And hey, does it make sense? Midday, like middle of the day, do we get momentum? We could, but we didn't. And so it pushed, consolidated, and then went. And so I essentially stopped out just to make sure I don't lose a ton of money on that. Lost $30, put me at a positive 50 P&L on the day. At that point, a half R green. That's what I felt comfortable at. And then this trade right here, the final trade of the day, was plus 0.75 R to the upside. And it actually could have been more. Looking back, I did get taken out. And then the contracts went, let's see. I got taken out here at 243. The contracts finished the day at 270. So I could have made more, but I could have made like $100, or I could have made a full R. But for the risk I was willing to take, it was fine. I essentially immediately entered this trade, and what I did was I put my stop loss at $50 to risk going flat on the day, and my take profit at $75. So I'm gonna risk a half R to make 0.75 R. And that was the trade. I literally just left that, and then that's it. And that was all that happened. So kind of messing around, to be honest. Is that perfect? Is that what I want to do? Overall context on AMD, it was a beast today, but look at this chart, right? Technically speaking, this was not ideal. The only reason I liked it is because not only was the 5-minute bullish, the 15, the 30-minute, the 1 hour were looking like beautiful upside flags that ended up working. Volume price action was looking great. Nvidia was leading the pack today. You had all the right things. And so that's why I took it, but also why I went a little bit smaller on those. You see what I'm saying? So I will take it, but we have reasons to be cautious the rest of the week, especially if we're playing, AMD, Nvidia, because we're going to have to play this Friday's expiration. I'm not going to go out to next week on those. If we want to play Nvidia and AMD, they're going to be volatile. So the sizing has to be adjusted to handle the volatility in those contracts. That's something to watch. So that's today's update. Back to TradeZella. We finished the day with 100 or 128 in the green, 129 in the green. We'll take it. This platform is now linked up in the video description box down below. TradeZella, if you want to check it out, pay or try them for a month or two. I pay yearly. My 1-year anniversary is actually coming up tomorrow. I will be renewing him. They will automatically renew. And I think I'm going to have a full review on this coming out soon because I think it's pretty cool. And it's worth talking about because it's fairly new as well, but I think it's up there with the best in the game. It's expensive, but it's, for good reason. Okay. With that said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully tomorrow. Peace.